My name is Ambera Cruz. I'm the head of marketing at Planhat. If you haven't heard of Planhat, like Liz said, we are a customer success platform, and we help our customers grow and retain their customer revenue. So one interesting thing is my journey that I wanted to share about coming to Planhat. So it's interesting because I used to be a customer of Planhat. And, as a marketer, I kind of got accustomed to always relying on the CS team to help run any type of smart, data-driven campaign for customers. So as an example, let's say I wanted to run a renewal campaign and I wanted to host an executive dinner in New York. If I wanted to aim that at customers with a low health score who all had executive sponsors in the city and maybe who had rising support tickets, I knew that burden would lie on the shoulders of my CS team because I just didn't have access to that sort of data. So when we onboarded Planhat and I gained access to the platform, I was stunned at all the customer data that I had access to, and just the fact that I was able to run all of these advocacy programs, all of these expansion programs, these renewal programs, just because So fast forward to last year, one of the reasons I jumped at this opportunity to join the company was because I was really excited to just share with other marketers and other customer advocacy marketers how you can use a customer success platform to drive some of these campaigns, and in particular, campaigns that drive revenue, because those are the types of programs and campaigns that really give marketers a seat at the table. But I work at Planhat, so of course I'm going to talk it up. So I'm going to switch gears here and ask my co-host, Andrea. She is a Planhat customer, to introduce herself and provide some credibility around why Planhat is such a great catch. Andrea, over to you.
Thanks, Ambera. My name's Andrea Brisker. I'm the Director of Customer Success at Onnit. I mostly focus on our long-tail customers, as well as bringing programs to all of our customers, office hours, Ask Me Anythings, etc. And we lean super heavily on Planhat to help us facilitate, get the word out about all of those programs. And we also run renewals and helping segment and assign tasks and alert our CSMs and renewal managers has been a huge part of our last couple of years with Planhat as well.
Amazing. Okay, so let's set the stage. What was life like before we met, Andrea?
Oh my goodness. I don't even remember what life was like before we met, but ever since we've met, it's been wonderful. So before we met Planhat, we were actually using a different CSP, and we had incredibly stale data. And it just wasn't working for us. And it was incredibly inflexible. And what we loved about Planhat was truly the flexibility, because we are 6 products under one umbrella. Anything from long tail customers to Fortune 50 customers. So we had to configure a CSP to work for both. And what we started doing was we started planting the seeds, especially around NPS, early. Like when we started evaluating new CSP vendors, we started planting the seeds early with our leadership team to get buy-in, especially around data. Our general manager and our product team, they report NPS to our board on a monthly basis, on a quarterly basis with their meetings. And it's a huge metric for them. But how we were doing NPS in the past, our data was incredibly stale. We weren't using last login. So we were just NPSing customers that may have not logged in for 9 months and getting not great feedback from them and getting like, the last time I logged in was a year ago. Like, I don't even know your platform too. And no one wants that as part of their NPS. And so Planhat has this like amazingly robust API. And so we took advantage of that and we started sending user login data, where now we use a more just-in-time approach. So if someone has logged in the last up to 3 days, we can NPS them. And we changed our cadence to match our product. So before we were sending NPS every 3 months, which for our product was a little aggressive. And we've now changed it to every 6 months. And so now the responses are a lot better and customers have time to see the changes that we've implemented in the platform before getting another NPS.
Amazing. Okay. And so so this is kind of a two-part question, but what was important when implementing Planhat? And then why did you choose to focus on NPS specifically right away?
Yep. So the reason we chose to focus on NPS right away was, as I mentioned, it's a really important board metric that both product and our GM roll up. So it was a company-wide number that was important. It wasn't just like, oh, this is for CS. It was really like, hey, this is a cross-functional platform where product, marketing, CS, sales can log into and get data. And that's why we chose to focus on NPS first. And honestly, I think we segment our NPS. We have 3 different types depending on user type and CSM type, whether they're long tail or short tail. And I think it took me 5 minutes to set up all 3 campaigns, set them up, segment them out, and really build in a more hands-off workflow for our CSMs as well. So instead of sending an email that gets queued up that they have to review every single time someone responds, if it meets certain criteria, it just an email automatically goes out. And every couple of months we change it depending on what our initiatives are. Sometimes it's asking for G2 reviews. Sometimes it's promoting our referral network. So that's really nice, the flexibility in there. But as I mentioned, the reason we focused on NPS first and got that out the door first as our big initiative is because it's a company-wide metric. That's important to both product, our GM, the board, everyone.
Yep, makes sense. And so, I mean, we're in love, obviously. But when did you really know that this process was working, it was beneficial?
Yeah, I think when we started seeing the NPS responses flow in, so we have some automation set up in the back end that whenever someone submits an NPS, we send it to a Slack channel. And so seeing the responses and seeing that we weren't getting those, I haven't logged in 9 months, like, why are you sending me an NPS? Has really shown the org and the company how critical, one, the just-in-time data is that we're sending through Planhat, and that the updated approach that we use to NPS was working as well.
Yeah. Just a quick side note, we use it in the exact same way. And I think one of the things at Planhat that I love about setting it up through Slack is that it provides transparency to the entire organization. So when somebody has an NPS of 4, I mean, our CEO knows, the CSM knows, everybody knows. And I think just the fact that it's really putting the customer and the customer health of our customers at the center of our company has just provided a better way for Planhat to become very customer centric. So yeah, I love that you're using it in the same way. Well, Andrea, thank you so much for sharing that. So just before we wrap up, I did want to share that we recently published a report on customer marketing and customer advocacy. So with that, we surveyed hundreds of customer marketers, and we interviewed some of the best B2B SaaS CMOs in the industry, and came up with some pretty great insights and tactical plays around advocacy, retention, and expansion. So if you're interested in checking it out, feel free to use the QR code here. But yeah, thanks again, Captivate Collective, and thanks to everyone for watching. We're all very busy people, and there's a million places you could be right now. So I appreciate you being here with us right now.